The galaxy trembled at the mere whisper of its name, Zalnath, the Silent Death. It had torn through the Krellian Empire in a single lunar cycle and reduced the mighty Vorthan warriors to extinction within days. Yet when the creature's 6 eyes fixed upon a human settlement, it did something unprecedented. It turned away. Why does it refuse to hunt us? Commander Sarachan asked, watching the predator's massive form disappear into the crimson mists of Kepler 442b. The answer would shatter everything they believed about predators, prey, and the nature of survival itself. The war-torn colony of New Shanghai bore the scars of a dozen conflicts, but nothing had prepared its inhabitants for Zalnath. The creature stood 12 feet tall on its hind legs, its body a nightmare fusion of reptilian scales and chitinous armor. 6 eyes arranged in pairs down its elongated skull could see across multiple spectrums. Its 4 arms ended in claws that could slice through starship hulls like tissue paper. Dr. Marcus Webb, the colony's xenobiologist, had compiled every known record of Zalnath's hunts. The data painted a picture of methodical annihilation. The Zealothi, with their telepathic abilities gone. The silicon-based crystallites who could survive in the vacuum of space eradicated. Even the warrior culture of the blade dancers who had never lost a war in 3,000 years reduced to historical footnotes. It's been here for 3 days, Chen said, reviewing the surveillance footage in the command center. 3 days of watching us and not a single attack. It's killed 2 Regalian scout parties that got too close, but every time it encounters humans. It leaves, Webb finished, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. 17 confirmed sightings across human space in the last year. 0 casualties. That's not hunting behavior. That's deliberate avoidance. Lieutenant Torres, the colony's head of security, crossed her arms. Maybe we're just not worth its time. Not challenging enough. Webb shook his head. The gentle gardeners of Proxima were pacifists who had never held a weapon. Zalnath eliminated their entire species in 6 hours. This isn't about challenge. Chin made a decision that would either save them all or doom them. We're going out there. If it won't come to us, we'll go to it. The team of 6 moved through the fungal forests of Kepler 442b with practiced precision. The bioluminescent canopy cast everything in shades of blue and violet, creating shadows that seemed to breathe. Every soldier knew they were being watched. The sensation crawled across their skin like static electricity. Movement, Torres whispered. 2 o'clock, 40 meters. Through the twisted trees, Zalnath emerged. Up close, it was even more terrifying than the reports suggested. Its scales shifted color like oil on water, and its breathing sounded like wind through a graveyard. The creature's 6 eyes focused on the humans with an intensity that made Chen's teeth ache. Nobody move, she ordered unnecessarily. Her team was frozen in place. Zalnath tilted its head, studying them. One of its 4 arms reached out slowly, claws extended. Private Kumar's finger twitched on his trigger. Hold, Chen commanded. The claw stopped inches from her face. Zalnath made a sound, not quite a growl, not quite speech. Then it withdrew its arm and took a step backward. It's backing away? Webb's voice cracked with disbelief. The predator circled them slowly, its movements fluid despite its size. Every few seconds, it would pause and make that strange vocalization again. Webb's scanner was going haywire trying to analyze the sounds. Commander, he said suddenly. I think it's trying to communicate. Over the next 2 hours, they developed a rudimentary understanding. Zalnath would make specific sounds and gestures, waiting for human responses. It showed particular interest when the humans demonstrated their technology, their teamwork, their ability to adapt to the hostile environment. Why aren't you killing us? Chen finally asked, knowing the creature couldn't understand her words but hoping her tone conveyed the question. Zalnath moved closer, its massive form towering over her. It extended 1 claw and drew symbols in the soft ground. The shapes meant nothing at first, but Webb's scanner began analyzing patterns, comparing them to known mathematical and linguistic structures. Commander, you need to see this, Webb said, his voice shaking. These symbols, they're showing evolutionary trees. Extinction events. And look here, he pointed to a series of circular patterns. That's us. Humans. And these broken lines around us. Other species that went extinct, Chen finished. It's showing us dead civilizations. Zalnath continued drawing, its movements becoming more animated. It showed humans surviving disasters, adapting to new worlds, fighting against impossible odds. Then it drew itself and lines connecting it to all the extinct species. But the line between Zalnath and humans remained unbroken. The truth hit Chun like a physical blow. It's not hunting us because Because we're still here, Webb interrupted. Every other species it encountered, it could predict their extinction point, their failure to adapt. But humans. Zalnath made a new sound, almost melodious. It drew more symbols, humans spreading across the galaxy, changing, evolving, surviving things that should have killed them. We're the anomaly, Torres breathed. Every other species had a breaking point it could calculate. But we just keep going. The creature stepped back and made a gesture that seemed almost like respect. Then it spoke, actually spoke in broken, barely understandable galactic standard. You are the ones who survive. The words sent chills through the team. This creature, this perfect killing machine, had learned language just to tell them this. That is why you are not prey, Zalnath continued, each word a struggle. You are something more. What are we to you? Chen asked. Zalnath's 6 eyes seemed to focus on something beyond them, perhaps seeing potential futures invisible to human perception. You are what comes after. When all others fall, you remain. We do not hunt the inheritors. The predator began to retreat into the forest, but Chen called out. Wait, will you attack other human colonies? Zalnath paused. We hunt the dying. You are the living. When the last star burns cold, you will remain. This we have seen. As the creature vanished into the alien forest, the team stood in stunned silence. They had come seeking answers about why the galaxy's apex predator wouldn't hunt them. They had found something far more profound, a recognition of humanity's greatest strength. It didn't come for us because it recognized something in us, our ability to survive, Webb said quietly. Not just as individuals, but as a species. We adapt, we endure, we refuse to go quietly. Chen activated her communicator. Base, this is Chen. Mission successful. Zalnath is not a threat to human colonies. Repeat, not a threat. Understood, Commander. But why? Chen looked at her team, then at the symbols still etched in the ground. Because in its eyes, we've already won. We just don't know it yet. As they made their way back to the colony, Torres voiced what they were all thinking. Do you believe it? That we'll outlast everything? I don't know, Chen admitted. But Zalnath has hunted species for longer than human civilization has existed. If it sees something in us. Fear was never the predator's weapon, Webb mused. It was respect and unspoken understanding between hunter and hunted. And we've earned something beyond respect. We've earned exemption. The report Chen filed that night would change humanity's understanding of its place in the galaxy. Zalnath wasn't just a predator, it was a force of nature that called the weak and dying. And in its ancient wisdom it had judged humanity as something else entirely. The last line of her report would become famous throughout human space. In the end, it wasn't fear that kept us alive. It was our refusal to die. Somewhere in the cosmos, Zalnath continued its eternal hunt, seeking those whose time had come. But when it encountered humans, it would always turn away, knowing that some species were not meant to be prey. They were meant to inherit the stars.